and welcome to today's YouTube episode. Today's YouTube episode is a little bit of a bonus this week. I actually filmed this clip that you're about to see back in February, and I filmed it so that it could coincide with the release of the Cocowawa Broken Circles quilt pattern. So the Cocowawa Broken Circles quilt pattern is due to be released on Thursday. I hope you enjoy the following clip. Let me know what you think in the comments box below. Hello and welcome to today's YouTube episode. On today's sewing adventure, I'm going to be testing a quilt block from the Cocowawa Broken Circles quilt, and I'm going to be showing you a little bit of the process. So let's get started. As always, I'm going to start by telling you what I'm wearing today. So today I am wearing the Tilly and the Buttons Billy jumper. And this one is made out of this lovely sweatshirt fabric with the hearts on it. And the company that I bought this fabric from is called By Grazelia Fabrics. And I will link them in the description box below. So for those of you who have watched me on my Instagram, you will know that I do enjoy quilting. And I have made a couple of quilts. However, I have never made a quilt that has used a curved quilt piece before. So in this quilt, these are two of the quilt pieces, and you can see that they will fit together like that. So that will be a new experience for me, and I'm hoping that I can share the results of that with you all. So this is the quilt here that I'm going to be testing. Anna from Cocowawa Quilts, she only wants us to do one block as the test. So one block is just one of these sections. Now I'm going to be using my quilt block to make a cushion, but you can use quilt blocks to make many different items. And I'm going to show you one thing that I made out of a quilt block first, and then I'm going to talk about some of the other things that you can make using just one quilt block. So this is a quilt block. This is foundation paper piecing quilting, and I actually made a waistcoat out of this one. So it's just the one block at the back, and then the front and the lining are just this gorgeous Liberty Betsy print. So it's reversible, so I can wear it with the little doggy face, Patsy's face on the outside, or I can just have it plain, just floral as well. So other things you can make using just one quilt block, it could be like a coat, obviously a cushion. You could put, maybe instead of making the full quilt together, you could use a few blocks to make like a table runner or a runner for the end of your bed. You could even take the back out of a denim jacket and insert a quilt block into that. So there's lots of different ideas of things that we can make using different quilt blocks. If you have any ideas, you might want to put them in the comments box below. I'm always up for more ideas, especially when it comes to quilting and using quilting to make different items. I have also been planning on filming a YouTube episode about all of the quilted garments and items that I have made. So that's waistcoats, coat linings, coats, jackets, and cushion covers. So if that's something that you think you might like to see, then let me know in the comments box below. Obviously, the main reason to make the quilt block is to actually make the quilt, which, as I have explained, I would really like to do that one day, but when I've got a bit more time and I've had a little bit more time to think about what fabric I might use. It is also a really good idea just to make one quilt block as a practice before you make the full quilt or before you start in your fabric, just to see how you go, to see if you had any difficulties. Maybe you might want to improve something when you make the rest of the blocks. So that is also another tip that I would give as well when making a new quilt block or a new quilt block that you haven't made before. Here are the pattern pieces. So you can see that the Broken Circles quilt block is made up of 4 main pieces. So this is piece A. I will need to cut 4 of these, but 2 of them will be in this dark pink and 2 of them will be in this purpley blue colour. Piece B and D, which are these 2 pieces, I will need 4 of each of these, and they will be cut in the pink background colour. And then piece C, I will need to cut 6 of these in this cream colour to make the quilt block. Here are the pattern pieces all cut out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have a go at laying them out to see if we can get a feel of what the final quilt block will look like. So what I have done now is I have laid the pattern pieces out roughly where they will go. Now when you do a quilt pattern, you have to remember that the seam allowance will come out of these patterns, so they will fit together much neater and much nicer. But this is a general first glimpse at how the quilt block will look. The first instruction that the pattern gives is to stitch piece A to piece B, which is what I have pinned together here. You'll see there's quite a lot of pins in there and I will have to ease it round as I go. So my next job now is to sew these together with a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. And that piece has been pressed now. On the whole, I think it looks really good. I have achieved that curve shape that we were looking for. The pattern does say to press the fabric towards the darker side so that you can't see the seam underneath, so that is what I have done. And I'm going to carry on and see how far I can get. The next instruction now is actually to join piece D, which is this top piece, to the piece B, the other background piece. So that is the next step. I'm going to join those together. And I think already it looks like it's going to start coming together pretty quickly. So you can see that those two pieces are attached now, and the next piece is to take piece C and to attach it down there, so that will form, I think, 1/4 of the quilt block. I think what we do now is we make 4 of these and then we attach them together. So it's already looking super great. And as you can see now, I am up to here. I have attached 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces together, and I have formed almost 1/4 of the whole quilt block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the other 4 pieces of these and then let you know how I get on. So as you can see, I have made it to here. It's not fully finished, but I'm really pleased with the progress I have made. This is the first time I have done a circular quilt piece, and I feel like they've gone in really well. There is a small pucker just here, but I feel like once it's all quilted and finished, you will not notice that at all. So I'm pleased overall with how it's gone. My next step is to sew these two together, and these two together. And once that's done, I'm going to sew these down here and then sew these down here. So I'm going to get on with that, and I will show you once all of that is finished. So here is the finished quilt block. I'm really pleased with how this one has turned out, and I have decided that I will turn this one into a cushion cover. Now this is my cushion inner, so this will give you an idea of how much pink I'm going to add to the border of this quilt block before I actually quilt it. And by quilting it, I mean putting the wadding in, putting the backing on, and making a lovely pattern on the front. The back of the cushion, I'm going to use this Dashwood print. This is called the Twist Print Dashwood Studio fabric, and I'm going to use that as the back of the cushion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these pink borders to the side to make sure it's the right size, and then I'm going to start actually quilting this one together. As you can see, I'm up to this point now. I have basted the top quilt to the wadding and to just an old sheet at the back. This will be inside the cushion cover, so you won't see this side. What I have done is I've just put some safety pins around to hold all 3 fabrics nicely in place, so that when I do my quilting stitching on top of this quilt block, everything stays in place nicely and I shouldn't get any puckers. I am now halfway through the quilting process. You can see these quilt lines have gone in quite nicely on this side. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish it off by doing the quilting lines on this side. And now I have finished all the quilting for this quilt block. So as you can see, I have cut it out neatly. I have finished all the quilting. Now I know that there's loads of different ways to do quilting. This is just the way that I have chosen for this particular project. And as I said, I did put a sheet on the back, and that is so that we get these lovely ridges. If you don't have something on the back, you don't get quite the same tension as if you're just doing the top of the quilt with the wadding. So that's why I've got that on the back, and I'm ready to make my cushion. Now this is going to be the back of the cushion. So what I've done is I've put I have hemmed it nice and neatly so that there's no raw edge there. I've folded it down twice and I've stitched along this edge here. I'm putting that right sides together to the quilt top, and then I've got the second one here. I'm putting that right sides together as well, so it will look like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch around the whole cushion cover, and then it will be finished. Now I know that there are other ways to make cushions as well, so if you have another way, then that's great, you can do that, but this is the way that I find easiest and the way that I'm choosing to do it today. And here it is all stitched together. You can see I've just clipped those corners. That is the other side, so remember the right side of the quilt top is inside here, so I'm going to show you how it's turned out. And here is the final cushion. I am super pleased with it. So that's the front. You can see all those lovely quilting details. That is the back. And you can see it's just nicely tucked in there. And it's super squishy and super comfy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it downstairs and take a photo of it on my couch. So here we are, and we can see that Patsy's made an appearance for this part of the clip. She's quite tired. We went for a long walk in the park this morning, so she's ready to cozy up and have a little nap. But you can see behind me we've got the Broken Circles quilted cushion. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. The colours really match the colours we have in our front room, and also the back, remember, was just the plain navy, so goes with the couch really nicely as well, so we could have it either side. So I'm super pleased with how that turned out. I think Patsy is too. Thank you so much for watching today's YouTube episode. I really enjoyed making this one. I love this quilt pattern. I can't wait till later in the year when I get to make the whole quilts. I hope you enjoyed watching this process with me, and remember that you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also, I'd really appreciate it if you liked this video as well. So that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed today's sewing adventure and you enjoyed seeing the progress of making a quilted cushion. I hope you have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you, and I'll see you here again soon.